Hello and welcome to Pure Experiences live streams. We are reading the teachings of Ranjit Maharaj from a web page. Let us see what Ranjit Maharaj has to say about the world. The world is only a reflection of reality, and any reflection is unreal. Suppose you see your face reflected in a mirror. If you think that the reflection is your real face, you are lost. If you understand that the reflection of the world is not true, then instantly you are reality. How much time does it take? I say that the creator of the world is not great at all, because his creation is not true. How can he be great? Do you agree with me? While living in this world, be in the world, but understand that it is not true. This is the work of a brave man. Tukaram says, everyone is mad. All worldly people are mad because they run after the wrong things. A person runs towards a mirage in the desert which he thinks is water. Someone tells him, there is no water there, and he replies, you are a foolish person, because I can see it. He runs all day, and when the evening comes, the mirage disappears. He thinks to himself, oh, I was unlucky today, but tomorrow I'll reach the water. It never existed, and yet he still believes in it. What to do? Your mother and father created your body, which came into the world, and you suffer because you take it to be real. Whose fault is this? Seeing that which is not is the fault of the Creator. The illusion has nothing to do with you. See everything and say that nothing is true. Have that much courage. Everything vanishes when this understanding comes. No matter if you are poor, sitting on a throne, or lying in the gutter, still you are always reality. The outside appearance has nothing to do with who you are. Everyone is he, no matter what state you may be in. Everything that you see has its origin in ignorance, because knowledge comes from ignorance. Who can know anything? There is nothing to know. When knowledge ends, reality is there. You are there. I always say that there is nothing to worry about in the world. Why? Because it's not true. Everyone gives value to the world, the realized being, who has gone beyond the world, beyond knowledge, only gives value to zero. When you understand that the world is untrue and that everything is zero, then all that remains is reality. There is only one way to know reality. Forget everything and instantly you are he. Short and sweet. There are no words for reality. Forget the illusion and he is there. Do everything, but say that it's not true. That is the main point. An ignorant person always sees the world as true. The realized sage sees the world as not true. That is the difference. The world is nothing but a long dream. Take it for granted. There may be many noises in the world, but the one who understands remains noiseless. In complete darkness and ignorance, the world is created. How can it be true? It's only a dream. You can understand intellectually, but you are unable to put your understanding into practice. Why not? Because you still have love for the illusory world and are clinging to things that are unreal. Be in the world, but don't be a worldly person. Be the master of the illusion instead of accumulating what is not. You are reality. What else is needed? People run after experience and finally they die. That is the main point. While living, be in the world and at the same time be out of it. So I always say, I am in water, but the water does not touch me. Have the courage to say that. You are untouchable. There is only oneness in the world and no duality at all. Everybody is He. So why worry? So his views on the world are essentially that the seeker, as soon as understands his own essence, simply rejects the world. He is saying that it is a courageous thing to do that because not everyone can do that. How can you reject the world? According to me, there are two steps. First is to see the unreality of the world. First, to grasp the illusion of the world. And second, to change one's behavior so that instead of clinging and fearful actions, there is equanimity and acceptance of whatever comes. This is indeed a very courageous thing to do because not everybody can do this. You can see it yourself that they are running after worldly things. Either they are being governed by somebody or they are trying to govern others. They are trying to control something or they are being controlled by something. When you think that the world is the only reality, then instantly you will become a slave of the world. The world is treating you in a certain way. Sometimes it is pleasant. Most of the time it is just bondage. Most of the time it is just suffering. Along with the ignorance that I am the body that lives in a real world, this suffering is multiplied even more. Even if the body is not a problem, you will instantly see that the other bodies, somebody else becomes a problem. If not, then the whole world becomes a problem, because it's not according to you, because it's not running according to your wish. So there are only two modes of existence in the world for an ignorant person, that is to control things or to be controlled by things or other people. Cannot happen by force, or this cannot happen artificially, mindlessly, assuming that the world is not real. That would be blind faith. That is not really recommended. First, the seeker should realize why the world is not real. There is a very simple criteria in advaita, or on path of knowledge, that which changes is not real. That which stays is real. It can be seen very easily that there is only one thing which stays while everything else is changing. While everything else is impermanence, there is only one that is still, that is unchanging, and that is my own essence, this pure consciousness that is witnessing all kinds of changes. It cannot change, because if it changed, it needs to be witnessed. The change needs to be witnessed, and then the question will arise that who has witnessed this change? The change itself cannot witness it itself. There needs to be an unchanging background on which the change can happen. Since there was nothing before in the object of perception or experience arose, and there is nothing after it disappeared, because every experience is changing, every experience is coming and going, then we can safely say that it did not really exist. It has a secondary reality compared to that which witnessed this change happening. It is like a movie screen. The screen remains pure white. It does not change, but the images, they come and go. So the images, they do not have an independent reality. There are no images without the screen. Why do we think that whatever appears in our experience is real? There is a very funny thing that is going on here, and that is called memory. Something appears and then disappears, and we memorize it. It leaves an imprint on the memory, and we call it real because I know it happened. I know it happened in front of me. This house is here in front of me, and it was there yesterday also. It was there 5 years ago. So it is real. If you cut down the memory, then where is the house? Where are the events that happen? If there is no memory of it, then nothing really existed. But that cannot be said about the consciousness, because it is above memory. It is one that is witnessing the memory also, and it is the one that is witnessing the forgetting also. And it is not really concerned with what is remembered and what is forgotten. It simply witnesses. So it is a play of the memory actually. Whatever appears is a play of the memory. Without memory, nothing can change because nothing will be remembered. This memory is nothing but mind, and therefore we say that the world is mind created, the objects are mind created. What we perceive in the present are not the objects. It is that which is told to us by the senses. What are senses? They are also objects that are transforming whatever is changing into quality, into a sensation, into a perception. We never witness that which is changing. We only witness that which the senses are presenting. And therefore, what we really perceive does not exist out there somewhere outside the body. It is created in the mind. It is created out of sensory information. That is all there is. But then one can say that, okay, there is a transformation of information that is coming through the senses, but still there is something. And this is an interesting question because that which is changing is not physical, is not world. These are not objects. That which is being perceived are not people, not trees, not sky, not rivers. It is information which cannot be perceived, which is nothingness, which is emptiness. The mind cannot even imagine what it is. The mind cannot grasp it because the mind knows only perception. It knows only that was created through the senses. It is incapable of knowing anything if the senses are removed. So not only the world is mind created, it is totally dependent on the senses. It is whatever is being distorted by the senses to produce an apparition, an appearance, a phantom in the mind. That's all. This is just shadows. That's why Ranjit Maharaj says that the world is only a reflection of reality. There is no reality in the world. The reality is that which perceives the world. The ultimate experiencer is the reality, not that which is being experienced. And the amazing thing is, something is being experienced. What is that? And that is the experiencer itself. The one who is experiencing is the experiencer. How to know this? Try to find a separation between your experience and between the consciousness of the experience. Is there an experience without the consciousness of experience? Does the experience exist without being conscious of it? If you question your experience like this, you will find that no, there is no independent experience. There is an experience only when there is somebody, something, the consciousness is present. Otherwise, nothing can be said about what is present, what is absent. What is the experience? Whatever is being perceived, whatever is being known through the senses. And so, that which is being known is nothing but consciousness. The experience and the consciousness are one, actually. The consciousness is nothing but the experience of consciousness. Experience of the appearances. That is all consciousness is. There is no separate thing as consciousness, which is somehow linked to a separate thing called an experience or a world. When we try to find a separation between that which is perceiving and that which is perceived, we do not see any separation. So ultimately, the world is a reflection of myself. That's all it is. It is not something independent of myself. There is no possibility of it. And this is my direct experience, and this is the experience of everyone else. However, this truth is veiled by ignorance, because there is nothing else, because that which is experiencing cannot be perceived. How can you perceive that which perceives? So whatever is perceived is taken as true, is taken as real. It is very innocent mind. That's not your fault that you think the world is real. This is how it seems to be. And it takes just 2 minutes to know that it is just changes being distorted by the filtered by the senses, and the mind using the qualities of colors, shapes, sounds, smells, taste, and many more. It forges a world, and the world it appears exactly in a way which is favorable for the survival of the body and the mind. There is a reason the world appears as it does, because the body needs to survive. Everything is colored by a need to survive. Because the first preference of any person, any mind, any ego is survival. Then they cannot afford to say that it is not real, the world is not real, because their survival depends on the world. And therefore it is a very courageous act to say that this is not real experience. It is a mirage, it is a dream. It takes a lot of courage and also takes a lot of knowledge. Not everyone can know this, because it takes a little bit of intelligence to reason, to be logical, to have this wisdom to dive into our own experience, to differentiate what is real, what is not real, what is true, what is not true. So when you see the condition of an average person that is tangled in this world, you can only laugh, or probably it is sad. It is sad to see this. So everyone is mad here. Everyone is mad about worldly things that are their own creation, that are simply appearances, that do not stay, because there is no other experience, because they do not know what they are. They consider this only experience that they have as real. So Ranjit Maharaj is saying the realized being who has gone beyond the world, beyond knowledge, only gives value to zero. When you understand that the world is untrue and that everything is zero, that all that remains is reality. So rejecting the world brings you to reality instantly, because now you are established in that which is witnessing the illusion of the world, instead of getting tangled in the illusion itself. Now there is another funny thing, that the illusion does not go away when you realize this. So you will need to stay in the experience of the world and the body while remaining untouched by it. Just like he gave an example of the lotus leaf. The lotus leaf grows in water, but the water cannot touch it. It has a hydrophobic coating on it, and it does not rot. It is not swept away by the water. It is not eaten by the insects. And therefore, it survives very quietly, peacefully. This is how a wise man is. This is how a seeker is. Not touched by the world, not concerned very much by the world. Of course, the body belongs to the world. The body is an object in the world. The body will do whatever it does. The ego will do whatever it does. But once this detachment happens, after seeing the unreality of the world and reality of the self, then that which is witnessing remains untouched. There is a shift of identification, and then the fear disappears. Now, it does not matter what happens in the world. It does not matter how it is. The seeker is unaffected. He may do outwardly this or that. He may try to fix things or arrange for the survival of the body and all. But he is doing that fully knowing that this is a drama, this is a dream. This kind of detachment will lead to total freedom, liberation from the world and the body. And one can say then, who are these people then? They look like they are also conscious, they are also aware. And yes, that is a big puzzle. What are they doing here? If everything is me, who are these others? Why are they here? So you will now need to see very carefully that the bodies and the minds are illusory. But the one that is witnessing those bodies and minds is same as the one that is witnessing this body and the mind. There is no other witness. There is only one consciousness, and it is universal. So the others are just me. There is no difference between you and me. We are all one. There is a difference between the forms that this universal consciousness has taken. There is only one thing that is changing. There cannot be two things changing or many things changing without there being a contact between the two things that are changing. As soon as there is a contact, there is a transmission of the change from one to the other. We can safely say that it is one thing changing. Otherwise, there was no possibility of contact. And so, you can see that it is impossible to have two realities that are not in contact with each other, that are not communicating with each other in any way. And if they are in contact, if they are in communication, then it must be one all encompassing reality in which this contact is happening. So it is impossible for there to be many. It is possible for one to appear as many. These people, everybody is just one. They are appearing as many. And it is the mind that divides. The mind says, I am here and you are there. We are separate. Yes, the form is up. One form appears here and the other form appears there. But they are all appearing in oneness. Without oneness, it was not even possible to know the other form. So today here we are going to stop and we'll continue the teachings of Ranjit Maharaj and his thoughts about zero. Thank you very much for listening.